had this experience where I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with this tiny little dick.
Because it was so small, and then it became a regular.
Yeah, it also like took too long to get hard. I don't know if he was like nervous or whatever. We finally got there. But I
tiny little dick.
Like it was my mouth. I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like I'm too successful for this. Like
you're actually saying that out loud because you have enough room to have a conversation.
Like looking at my Rolex, like why?
Oh.
You're listening to the Dear Buddies podcast.
You will grow from boys into men. Whatever, dude. What does that look? Don't get weird on me.
Hey, buddy.
For all those questions you can't bring yourself to ask your friends, ask your buddies.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dear Buddies podcast. We are so excited you're here. Before we jump in, make sure you hit us up on our Instagram at Dear Buddies Podcast. There's a link there that takes you to all of our stuff, including our Patreon, patreon.com/Dear Buddies Podcast. We do a bonus episode every week. We've got some fun stuff that you can get involved with coming up. We're doing some Man on the Street stuff here in New York and some live shows coming up, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? And hit us up on YouTube, Dear Buddies Podcast on YouTube. We put a bunch of clips up, a lot of really fun stuff. But before we jump into that, pretty pumped. We got a guest. Some of our guests have been, I'm going to be honest, mostly bozos. A bunch of losers. And I'm including you two in this, by the way.
Yeah.
I consider you guests, and I consider you losers. But our guest today, we're going to dig in deep with some real fun, relationship-y type questions. I'm so excited. You may know her from, what's the name of your podcast?
Sweet Buddies.
Sweet Buddies. Oh, the old school fan from our old show.
Yeah.
I've known her since I started comedy. We started around the same time in Atlanta. She has a great podcast called Girls Gotta Eat.
She moved way past you in the business.
Oh, rocket launch.
Jesus Christ,
yeah.
Honestly.
Ashley Hesseltine, everybody. Give it up.
Yeah, I'm surprised you answer his text message.
I can't believe it.
Honestly,
We could not believe it.
If I was your
honestly.
level, I would never talk to him again.
Jesus Christ.
Every other one I am.
Yeah, you should. Honestly, make that zero.
Keep him on his toes a little bit.
Twice a year.
Well,
I
thanks
wish
for
that
doing
they would
this.
stop answering my text, to be
I
honest.
can't wait for the day.
It's coming, buddy. It's coming. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for
glad
being
to be here.
Yeah, of course.
When you first moved to the city, I was, as you were saying that, I remember you came on. Didn't you come on that pizza tour where a guy?
Yeah, it was like week 1 or 2 of the city.
Yeah.
Like of being in the city. And you were, I mean, I think you moved to a new city. You're like, I'll say yes to everything. Like,
Sure.
you know, I'll do whatever. And you invited me on the pizza tour and someone proposed with a pizza.
Yeah, at the end, I was like, someone's proposing if you want to see the weirdest thing ever. And somebody proposed with a pizza. And she lived close by. I was like, get over here now. And she just sat there and watched the guy with a "Will you marry me?" and pepperoni.
No way.
And Joe's. Like, didn't rent Joe's out. It was just there. Like,
was just there.
busy afternoon.
I had to go set it up there early in the morning. I go, can you guys write "Will you marry me?" and pepperoni? They were like, well, give it a shot.
Oh my
It was.
This taxi driver in the background go, get the fuck out of the way. I don't give a shit. Come on, marry or not.
It was anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, it
Could
wasn't.
imagine.
You know, it's not like we shut down Joe's privately. It was just like in the middle of the
Lunch rush.
Have
Yeah.
Pizza tour.
Have you ever seen someone say no? I think I've ever seen someone say no to a proposal.
I was going to say pizza. I was like, I never said no to a slice.
Not in your world.
No, I don't think personally. I haven't seen too many proposals, Scopo, to be perfectly honest with you. But
I have a guy friend that got like, and I'll think about it, and she said yes like a few days later. It was a fucked up situation.
I think you gotta
They did not
say,
get married.
I was gonna say,
you
where are
gotta
they at
say
now?
yes in the moment, and then just deal with the consequences after.
She had like another dude.
Stop.
Like it was a whole thing.
How long were they together?
It's kind of a mess. I don't want to get too granular.
Say their names first.
Yeah.
And last.
So first of all, no. Jennifer and Steven. No. It was he proposed to her, and like she was seeing someone else. He was kind of almost trying to get her back in a way.
And
like
I've been there.
the get her back
the other
proposal.
guy like picked her. I don't know, like from where
the
she was.
proposal?
Like it was a whole mess.
Hey, from the proposal?
Yeah.
That's a rough one. Nice ring.
Pizza's still worse.
And she was
honestly.
still like, I'll think about it. And then she did dump that guy and say yes to my friend, and then they broke up, and then she married that guy and had kids
The
with
other
him.
guy.
The other guy.
Wait.
Screw the podcast we're going to talk about. Let's
Well,
go to this.
hold on. Your friend, that was a lot. Your friend proposed. She says maybe. Let me think about this. Let me get a couple
Nice
nights.
ring. Nice ring.
Oh, sweet ring. Let me get a
Yes.
couple nice sleeps here, and then buddy, side chick comes, snags her, picks her up,
Yeah.
gets in with him. She goes back, says yes, give me the ring, let's party. Then dumps that guy, and now she's with the guy who picked her up.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's insane.
Okay, I got it.
It's a wild story. But wait,
Crazy.
She also explained it perfectly well. That recap was way longer than
Not
she
needed,
actually
not
said.
needed.
It was because I couldn't compute.
I got it real quickly, by the way. It wasn't on you. That was on him.
No, I got it, but I was
everybody's
just
okay. So
crazy.
But she went home and like, I mean, I'm sure she fucked that dude that night, like thinking about
sure.
this proposal.
With the
you
ring
know.
on?
Oh my! She didn't take the ring.
Oh, okay.
Classy bro.
He's like, I'm not just gonna give it to you. You gotta like come back and get it, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
You don't say maybe and then hand it over. Like, well, think about
Yeah,
it.
sleep on it. Give it a look before bed, and
Sleep
then
with
get
him
me-
on it, or sleep on it.
It's like a
get
cock
back to
ring,
me.
you know.
Oh, here we go. We're getting right into it. We're jumping right into the cock rings. Perfect. That's
We were
what I
talking
like.
about cock rings before the camera started rolling, and
Cock rings.
yeah, but that's crazy. So welcome to New York. Hey,
Yeah.
you fitting in? You finding it well?
Yeah, you know, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's what they say. You got a cock ring.
I got a cock
So
ring.
we were talking about cock rings accidentally.
Big fan of the cock ring. I
Wait,
love it.
It's in your house?
Wait, it's in my apartment right now where my mom's
in my
watching my dog.
pocket.
What are
Oh
we
my
talking about?
god.
It's in his underwear.
It's on me. It's on me right now. I'm always ready to go.
So
Yeah.
you said that you were talking about cock rings on your podcast today, and you had cock rings, and you were going to bring them to us.
So I'm not gonna get like it's kind of it's not important. Can we cut this? Okay, yeah. So I'd love to talk about my cock ring journey and hear from you guys. But yeah, well, I was testing out some cock rings for a thing, a project, and I was like looking at sizes, and it was funny because I had a bunch of them, and I felt like it was like when you get your ring sized for real. Like it was a bunch of different ones, like what size hole? Because I don't think they're really not one size fits all when you really look at them.
let me ask you this: how, as a woman, do you fit? How would you decide the size of a cock ring?
They've changed a lot since I haven't used one in a long time. I used them with this guy, and they were a little more stretchy. So now these days, like I'm not totally sure. Like if you pull it apart, like get it on there. Like I haven't done one in a minute. Like maybe you can speak on it.
You need to have a little lube on.
Yes,
lube
that's a
does
good call.
help when you take it off. Because the other day I didn't have a lube on. I took it. I was like, ah.
I think
I was
you're
like pulling it
totally
off.
right. Like
It was on the other
lube
day?
is the key.
It was on. It was on
Oh
less
my
than 24
god.
hours ago.
Oh, sweet
Did you wash your hands at least?
Oh my god.
No, yeah, it's.
But
yeah.
you need to be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It can't be
It's
hard
tough-
and
It's
lube.
tough to get on. Listen, if I'm not hard when the girl's naked, it's a different issue.
Yeah.
So,
That's gonna be tough if you're not hard and you're sitting there just waiting. Like, all right, let's fit. Like it's like
Yeah, it's
weird
like
fitting.
there's a lot of
It's like
room, and then
blowing
you're
up a
like,
balloon at
when
a
you get
party.
hard, this will fit.
So it vibrates, obviously.
some do, some don't.
And
First cock ring I ever got from Stop and Shop.
That's not
who
true.
are you,
That
dude?
was an onion ring. That was
Yeah,
not a
no,
cock
no,
ring.
it was in college.
Who the hell are you?
I got a cock ring at Stop and Shop. Yeah, I went to Stop and Shop. I was with my girlfriend at the time.
What
and
is
I
a
was
Stop
like-
and Shop? What is
I went with my
happening right
girlfriend
now?
at the time, who is now a lesbian. So that didn't work out. But
Everybody's lesbian now. I'm
yeah,
I'm so confused.
just had a kid. Congrats.
Cool. What Stop and Shop? What is that?
It was in Fairfield, Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
grocery store.
Stop and it's a
grocery store. Yeah.
You got a cock ring at a grocery store.
Yeah.
Why do they have?
crazy.
What is it? Just like bananas, cereal, cock rings?
I don't
What
understand.
aisle is that on?
They're in,
Family
like-
planning?
That's crazy that they
Yeah, it
have
was
that
in
there.
fair
Like
planning, yeah.
they're in Target now, but that's recent. That's like a recent development that you can just go to the store to buy sex toys. But I mean, the first time I used it, it was more for my pleasure. Like it was a vibrating.
Yeah.
I went to Clemson, so my boyfriend at the time, we went to Insurrection in Atlanta on Cheshire Bridge Road, and we found an orange tiger cock ring. I was like, this is so on brand for us, but it was like
I will
more
use a
for
sex
me.
toy, but it needs to be
Yeah.
at my favorite college
Yes, it needs
colors.
to be my sports team.
I'm down with that.
But they also pinch the guys, like they make, when you get hard, it's because blood rushes to your
Yeah.
penis, right? So it clamps it
That's
a little
the
bit, so
rumor.
it's more, there's blood.
Yeah.
It keeps it
Yeah.
hard, maybe.
It does keep it a little hard. Yeah, it does keep it harder.
Because we deal with like a lot of strippers at our shows, and
bottom.
like I think they wear them sometimes to stay hard during like their performance.
Are they like
Yeah.
the color of their skin so nobody knows?
I have no idea what's going on, but these strippers show up and we're like, that's not a real dick. You know what I mean?
No, it is. It is a real
No.
thing. Yeah.
But then,
Too big, you're saying. So no, I don't know at all.
like, we're like, something's in there. Like, that's not a.
You're saying it's a juiced up cock. It's
I
like
think they stuff it a little bit, but then sometimes they don't, and it's like shocking.
Oh, they're not pulling their penises out during your show?
We've seen. I mean,
this,
it
like, just-
runs the gamut. Like again,
Oh,
we have
okay.
strippers at our shows, and usually just one male stripper. And
cock comes out though.
I haven't. They don't go full dick out, but sometimes they're just wearing a little sleeve.
Okay, so that's where
So
you're.
You can see the
you
cock.
see their full like yeah.
Yeah, but okay, but that's when you're like they're stuffed.
But we had
obviously,
one that was like really proud of his little dick. It was shocking.
That's kind of nice.
He turned around to me like away from the stage and like pulled his pants down like hey, it was shocking. I was
What
like,
face did you make?
Little
I was like, thumbs up.
rock hard, little.
Big.
It was, I mean, I guess it was like schmedium.
Schmedium.
But the pride he had for it.
I appreciate that.
I wouldn't. I mean, the balls to whip out a schmedium
Is that
cock.
a guy who you'd be more interested in, like proud of his?
So and then what happened after that was that he was just so
And you dated him for 6
proud. so we're together. He was so proud of it. And then it was a lot. Like, we don't always see their dick. We did see his dick. And then it was in the city that we were in. A couple girls that were at the show DM'd me after, and they were like, we know that stripper. We hired him for a bachelorette party. His dick was everywhere at the bachelorette, in the bride's cup. He was like rimming her glass with his dick. Like, that's not a normal
This guy's
thing.
the best.
Like, she.
Is this guy my dad?
Well, I guess he's like, I don't have obviously the size I'm looking for, so let's make it a party
crazy
favor.
with it.
Yeah. Let's make it into a straw.
I mean,
Let's
that's
do
what
some
I'm saying.
stuff.
Straw.
It's a stir. Yeah, it's the
He knows what he's
cock
working
that stirs
with,
the pot.
and he knows he needs to put on a show. You know what I mean?
I feel like you guys will appreciate this because we had a call with him. This was a call where our assistant was like, what is my job? Like, it was me and her and the stripper on the call, and she was like texting me like I had to mute myself because I can't breathe. I'm laughing. Yeah. So we're talking to him about the thing. We were in a city that's like, I just don't want to give too much away. We were in a city that's known for their pizza. So I was like, can you do a pizza delivery guy? We'll be like, we brought, a pizza out. You'll come out. You'll do the pizza thing. He was like, I have a pizza. I opened the box. It's got pictures of me in it. He was like, I love doing pizza guy. We were like, great. And he was like, one more thing. And I was like, he was like, I'm also, and I was like, he's going to say comedian. He's going to say comedian. He's going to want to do
5.
And yes. And that's what I know.
So you've met every comedian ever, you know.
I was like, don't say it. And he said, I'm also a magician. And that's when our
baby.
assistant muted and she was like, Ashley, I don't know what to do.
That's amazing.
And so I was like, well, it's kind of more about the dance. And, he was like, but just hear me out. I just have one trick. And I was like,
Hear me out.
I was like,
Does it involve the dick? It has to involve the dick. Yeah, it has to involve
I
the
was
dick.
like, are you going to want the mic? Like, are you going to, I just was like getting like, yes, he wanted to get on the mic energy. And he was like, it's just really simple. I take a $5 bill and I bounce it on my dick. I was like, sure, do the
balance it?
trick.
You're like that. You're
Balance
a
it.
Bounce it.
Oh, bounce it.
Like up
you're
and
Like a
down.
soccer ball?
Did you remind him that he's not a magician? He's a juggler. That's not.
that's not really.
a magic
That's not
trick.
necessarily magic. I think Mike's right on that
It's not
one.
magic at all.
So you're saying this guy's not smart. He's not a brilliant
He
guy.
was also like not that hot. Like Raina said,
Oh, God.
Raina said he had cellulite, which was just very funny for like a
Guys have
stripper.
cellulite.
I think she was just making a joke, but he was probably the least hot. And
Well, that's the thing. It's like when if you
funny.
don't so anyway, the guy's opening for it now. That's if the guy's not good looking. He's got a tiny cock, but he knows where his lane is, and he's
Yes.
got his penis has personality.
So okay, so
and he
this
needs to have
he is
personality.
usually they pick Raina up and they put her on their shoulders, like her legs are behind their, like down their back. She's small, so it's
Okay.
worse.
Yeah.
These guys have flipped her all around. It's really impressive. He couldn't quite get her there, and she was talking him through it. And she was like, "Just put me." And she's like, "Just put me on your
Mike down.
shoulders." Like she's like telling him, like guiding him through this.
It's
this
like wrestling when you say, all right, now suplex me. Now suplex me. Let's go.
And he didn't have the upper body strength, so he was like rocking her like a baby. Like, it's so slow. It's like the most low energy stripper we've had because he couldn't get her up there. Anyway,
That's so good.
Well, I mean, at least he knows he's self-aware as a stripper to know
Is
that
he selling out now, though? Did you guys bring him a lot of attention?
I mean,
He's
think
verified on Instagram.
in that market, like, it's not New York, it's not LA. I think it's just kind of like you hire a stripper, he's probably going to show up.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
One of four guys.
So a couple people messaged me and were like, "We'd love to book him," and so I gave him their info.
This guy's crushing it.
Yeah,
well, good for him. I mean,
you're right. He is funny. It was
a
funny.
lot of strippers probably get into the business because they have huge cocks, and he was like, I don't have that, but I have a utility cock, essentially, and I could
He
bounce.
plays all positions. You know?
Yeah, he's bouncing fives off of it. He's stirring drinks. The
He was
guy, he's doing
He
things.
was
He's
trying to
doing
make a
things.
cappuccino design.
His cock's a barista.
Good morning, everybody.
He does latte art. Yeah.
No, good for
Latte art
him.
cock.
Good for him. That's probably.
It's just a picture of his cock after he's in it. Yeah, that's the latte.
Did he have a cock ring on?
George
though?
Clooney called him and said
No,
Nespresso's
no.
got a sponsorship for him. It's just great.
The way he turned around to me and was like, he made sure I like looked right at it. And I was like, thank you
And
so
not-
much.
That's confidence, though. That's confidence
Oh,
that probably a lot
so
of strippers don't even
confident.
have. Like the
So-
huge dick
well,
guys
and-
are probably
and
like, oh, do I have a big dick enough?
And we had a really bad stripper, and he was not confident, and he wasn't dressed appropriately. He didn't wear breakaway pants, so he was shuffling around. He couldn't get his pants off. Just
kicking
it
his
was,
shoes
yeah,
off.
like
Shuffling.
pants
He's got
around
a
his,
feel of pants on. He's struggling here to
he
take
was
it off.
wearing like dress pants, and so he couldn't take them off, and he So he was doing the striptease with his pants around his ankles. It was horrifying.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, we have
Around
video
his
of all this.
ankles.
He was new and he couldn't like figure it out.
Stripped a day in my life.
I will say this: it is nice of you, outside of all this, to give an open mic stripper a shot out on a big stage. He's working it out. He's got a couple new bits he's trying.
And we had to have him for 3 shows because it was in like an area of the country where that was their only guy.
That was the stripper?
He did 2 shows and then we were like, he's following us around. And he was like in the green room asking for, it was wild. He was like, this is the most unprofessional, worst stripper we've ever had. And they were like, we're going to send him to Vancouver. We were like, you're absolutely not.
Who's we?
Like the company. We use the same
stripper
company. So they were like, can we send him to your
You have
last
a
show in
stripper
Vancouver?
broker?
My nation would not have accepted him if he was already there. Yeah, Canadian.
Yeah. So we were like, no, we're good. He cannot come. We've done enough. We've had him in
COVID, can't have
Was
him.
he already in Canada?
So he did. I'll just say, what do I care? He did Portland and Seattle, and then he was their only guy
He's
in
the
that
Pacific
area.
Northwest guy.
Yes,
What's his name? Slinging Salmon? What's this guy's name? Sammy the Salmon? Sammy the Stripper Salmon? He's over at Pike's Marketplace.
the
He's
guy's-
like, hey, catch this fish.
The guy's living in a tent in Portland. He ain't doing well.
The Portland Pecker. Yeah, he's not doing great. He's not doing great now.
So they were like, well, then the Vancouver stripper got COVID, and they were like, we'll send him, and we were like, we're good. So what we did was we had people from the audience come up and strip, and you'd be surprised. Guys really have it in them.
You know what? It's because like we've been to a lot of strip clubs, and it's just like you just know what to do by the good strippers. Like honestly, there's some really good strippers out there, and it's like you just got to follow what they did.
Yeah.
I did a show at a guy's strip club and there was no pole. Is there poles at guys' strip clubs?
There was plenty of pole.
No, but are there poles at guys' strip clubs?
I have actually never been to a male strip club. I tried to go in Atlanta and we got turned away because they don't let bachelorette parties in. They actually don't, like the one in Atlanta, Swingin' Richards. They don't really want women in there.
It's more of a gay club.
It's more of a gay club.
Yeah.
But like there's not a lot of male strip clubs out there. There's like a male review some places.
Okay, because I feel like a pole wouldn't necessarily be.
You don't see a lot of poles. You know,
Right.
you think of like Magic Mike, there's like no poles.
I've never watched Magic Mike, but that makes sense.
You're humping the
classic.
ground, you know?
I heard it's a classic.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What do you pay a guy like that? Like, what is a male stripper to come and do a show like the Girls Gotta Eat tour?
Mike's tight on
More than what we make.
He's tight on cash right
I'm
here.
tight on cash and I'm working on my ab.
And he has a pepperoni costume, so we're good to go.
I do have a slice suit.
I mean, the rent-a-hunk price is $200, but that's like
good.
You know, we need him for 45 minutes. Like he comes and
So that's a
He
decent
comes,
amount.
we
Yeah,
all come.
$200. You do 3 shows a night. It's pretty good. $600.
Yeah.
On Friday and Saturday, it's $1,200.
Do they-
It's pretty good money.
Yeah, not
Do
bad.
they start hard, or does it like?
We are spending a lot of time in this man's cock. I love it.
Female, I mean, obviously we've been to female strip clubs, right? They there's 3 songs. They start by removing their bra and then their pants and then they're naked the last song. That's how it is in Canada. I don't know how it is here in the good old fashioned United States of America. The males, do they start erect to begin, or is it soft? You can't dance soft.
I feel
Or half
I think
hard.
that we've like seen it all. I mean, the pizza guy, I don't know that he was ever hard. Like he wasn't showing too much of his dick. He like kept his underwear on.
Was he wearing like
and then we've had
whitey
guys wear
tighties?
more like that. He was wearing like briefs, but then we've seen thongs. And then the last guy, he was wearing like assless chaps with like a chain and just like a sleeve on his dick.
That's pretty hot.
That's called professional.
Yeah, that guy knows what's up.
There is no like hard and fast rule for no pun intended, but we've seen them
Accepted,
where
though.
there's like it's so big and we're like there's something else in there. Like that's not a dick.
They do make, you can get a dick sleeve. I've
Yeah.
seen this where it's like a latex and it looks like a cock.
Okay.
And at the end of it, there's like a little bit of a bush.
Okay.
So you can like hide it in your bush.
Yeah.
And then
that
there's,
seems
it's
about
like, it just
right.
looks like a cock. It's like a movie cock. Sometimes in the movies, they'll just put a little prosthetic
What
on
I'm
it.
gathering from all of this are women that when there are strippers around, you guys are definitely way more open-minded than us. That there's assless
Women
chaps.
are way worse out of strip club than men are.
But there's different things that they're like, oh, this is cool. This is like men. They need you naked by that third song.
but
Like there's no other
But here's the difference.
different things going on,
I think
right?
women are like, it's kind of funny. Like, men aren't like laughing. That would be a kind of a fucked up thing if
No.
men were like laughing at women.
Never.
Like,
It's rude.
women are like screaming and like laughing, like it's like a show.
Well,
no,
let me
men.
ask you this.
It's rude if men laugh at a stripper. It's quite
It's
rude.
not the same vibe. Like
No.
a male review is like Bachelorette. Like men are like in the strip club, like yeah, baby, take it off. Like women are like, oh my god, look
Even
what
if
he's doing.
a female stripper like slips and falls and smacks her head, guys are going to run to her rescue. No one's laughing. Like, it's a very serious thing.
It's a different vibe.
But let me ask you this: as a woman, do you even find dick attractive? Like, are dicks like, other than like the utility of it? Because I know a lot of women, they're like, I don't care. I don't care what it looks like as long as it does the job.
I honestly, like, it just depends. Like, I used to hook up with this guy that I just thought he had like such a great looking dick. I would just want to be down in there. But then but it's not, that's kind of rare.
But dick in general.
Just
it's
in
like,
general, I'm not
guys,
like
boobs are like great no matter what. But like,
it's also like, I think women, and or at least me, are so much more like, you like it when you like the guy.
Yeah.
You, like, I would never be turned on by a random dick, but if it was the guy that I'd already had sex with and he was like made me really horny, I was really into him, I'd be like, I'll take a dick pic.
Because if a woman's like in the subway
you know.
with her tits out, it kind of doesn't matter. It's gonna be like
day.
it's gonna be okay. This is a fun time.
Yeah,
But if a guy has his dick out just like in the corner, it's like this is the worst thing that's ever happened.
I think
Way better than a subway shooter.
Yeah. I think it's who the dick is attached to is what it's all about.
Yeah. So it's more about the personality, like Little Dick Pizza Man.
Yeah.
Great. Have you ever been with a guy with great personality, not such a phenomenal cock?
Yeah.
Let's get into that.
I seem that you think that's a question towards you.
Actually, I mean, I feel like I've been pretty lucky.
Okay.
I feel like I was like with a lot of guys that had big dicks, like kind of early on in my like
Journey.
sexual journey.
You say big. Does that necessarily mean great dick?
No, I've heard from women say no.
Yeah.
Like, the bigger the dick, actually, the worse the sex.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I do like a bit about it. I mean, I used to kind of be like really flirty.
Do the bit
with
right now. We'll wait.
Okay. So no, I used to have this thing with our basketball center at Clemson. So I've like fucked a lot of athletes. That was like my vibe.
Who
was
was
like
the center?
athletes.
You should get any tips? Is he still playing in the league? Can he help out here?
You could, I guess
Jesus
I mean, you could look
Christ,
him
you
up.
got a gambling problem.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he ever went pro. He probably played like overseas. He was like our center at Clemson. He was 6'9". He was this huge dude.
Yeah.
And we always flirted. We made out a couple times. And I mean, I finally got him home one night and I was like, it's going to happen. It's going to be great. And like, I saw his dick and I was like, it can't happen. It was
that
shockingly
enormous.
bad. It like tumbled out, you know. It was just like,
Right. Tumble.
I mean, that's my joke. I said it was like a slinky going down the stairs. It just like kept coming. I was like, that's
Where
insane.
does it end?
Just picture a drunk man falling down a flight of stairs. Holy hell, this dick's inebriated.
But I mean, we talk about that a lot. Like, too big is uncomfortable. You can't really do doggy. It's like, it's not. It hurts. Like,
you're gonna be poking organs.
yeah.
yeah.
Trying to survive this thing.
And I've been really interested in like growers lately because I hooked up with this guy that I could not believe the growth. I thought he had like a micro penis. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
To when it was like hard, I was like shocked. I was like, we are gonna need more lube.
Skin doesn't end.
Yeah.
Where's the skin go?
I couldn't believe it. Are you guys growers?
Big time.
Yeah, I'm more
Big
of a
time.
grower, yeah.
No.
I'll go one step further.
time.
I'm such a grower that at times it's an innie. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
I
that
will-
it'll get so small. Like if it's cold out or if I'm just like whatever. Sometimes it's like it looks like I'm not circumcised. It's gone so far back in that it's like it's incredible. And my girlfriend, I'm sell her out, but she thinks it's adorable. To the point where if I'm like,
That's not what you want to hear.
No.
That's not what you want to hear.
Absolutely
no,
not.
but she, like not like sexually adorable. She just finds it like cute.
That's so cute.
And I'll,
wanna hear-
if it's happening, I'll go quick look, and she'll go aw, and then she'll go about her day.
All is not a thing you want to hear in the bedroom.
No.
You have to be really comfortable.
Neither is. Hold on a second. All right, we're here, baby.
Do you guys? Do you have a girlfriend?
I do have a girlfriend now.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I do, yeah.
Do you guys want them to see it
Never.
soft ever?
Never.
Right. Like
She never
I
has.
don't know. I could care less, honestly.
Doesn't
Okay.
bother me
I
at
don't
all.
care.
Like,
the other day I was just changing in front of her. It was soft. I was like, I don't care. Whatever.
okay.
Doesn't bother me at all.
Okay.
No.
Because also I know that I'm a grower, not a shower, so I feel like it's like yeah, this is fine, but like it gets to a point where it's
Right.
gonna be fine.
Have you ever been in a situation where, like, you were hooking up with somebody? I guess you guys have been in relationships for a while, but where you had to be like, "Don't worry, it's gonna get there." Like, do you ever feel like
Yeah,
you need
but
to
if-
kind of?
If I've ever been saying that, it's not gonna get there. That's the whiskey's fault.
I had this experience where I was like, "Oh my god, I don't know what to do with this tiny
Because it was
little
so
dick."
small, and then it became a regular.
Yeah, it also like took too long to get hard. I don't know if he was like nervous or whatever. We finally got there. But I
Tiny little dick.
it was my mouth. I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I'm too successful for this. Like,
You're actually saying that out loud because you have enough room to have a
I'm like
conversation.
looking at my Rolex, like, why?
Oh, that could be the funniest thing I've ever heard. I have this tiny cock in my mouth. I look at my Rolex. I'm like, what are you doing with your life? I have a Rolex. But then it eventually came to.
It was such a journey. I mean,
See, that's never like happened for me. Like if I have a naked girl next to me, I'm gonna be hard.
Yeah, me too.
It's really not
Thanks,
a problem.
guys. No, I mean,
Sometimes it's hit or miss for me.
Listen, we're saying it's you.
Were you drinking? Were you guys drinking?
we were drinking.
Okay.
I think
That's
there
tough,
might
then.
have been
Cocaine.
a little element of
nerves.
like he knew
Was
what
he
I
a
did for a
fan?
living. He was at the
Okay.
show.
Yeah.
Okay.
With not a fan, with a friend, but like it wasn't. We had sex like a lot of times after that. It wasn't a problem at all.
So
that
nerves,
first
yeah.
time kind of.
So he made up for it. It was his initial shock and reaction.
And the sex was great. Like I can't,
So if you're a grower, it's anyone's guess what it's going to look like at any moment of the day.
I was just so shocked by it.
Yeah.
I've seen so many dicks, and I know I'm aware. Like I'm familiar with growers, but that specifically shook me.
There's
to
some
my core.
tough days. There's some
when
tough
it came
winter
out hard,
days.
I was like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
Well, there's like a thing about unrealistic standards with.
Is that your? Well, here it is.
It was like they
That's what
just.
she did actually. The shock face. Whoa.
It was one of those used car lot toys, except for like they couldn't get the generator working.
No, it's.
But they set unrealistic standards for women in porn, like women in porn. So guys have this standard. Guys look at porn; it's always raging hard, massive cocks.
That's
so
why you
like
watch-
when we're like, that's probably a big part of it. Is you look there and you're like, nothing's gonna happen. And so we have this like thing in our head for the longest time that we're like, fuck this. I do not even own a penis. I don't even own a penis.
Yeah.
That's
compared
why
to
you
what
gotta
I
watch
believe is
amateur
true.
porn.
Is that why? That's why you're getting into amateur porn?
It's more
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm on this guy's level. You know, it's like if I'm playing 1-on-1, I'm good here.
And
I can take this guy down.
yeah.
And you've never seen Foreskin?
No.
Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, we were saying, like you said, just because I'm like an all-American girl. I mean, I
You call us patriots?
She bleeds red, white, and blue.
I'm trying to think
That
of
was fitting for it.
that. It
Lid
does
popped
sometimes
off.
seem like a little more of like. I mean, it is such an American thing.
It is for sure.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that I've.
You are Jewish
blamed
too,
it.
right?
I'm not.
You're not Jewish.
I'm not
okay,
Jewish.
well, there goes that part of it. That I
What was that
thinking about.
assumption? You just,
Hesseltine?
Yeah.
is that a Jewish name?
People just think with the
People could
ein,
think
and then
that, maybe.
my old face used to look more
Yeah,
Jewish.
successful.
Your old
You know,
face.
has a podcast that's successful. Hesseltine.
I got the work
all
done.
the faces
Rolex,
right
yeah,
there.
you're
Yeah,
right. All the Jew things are checking off.
If you were in court of law, you'd be found guilty of Jew. So
There are
I'll take it. Everybody always thought that.
there are women who think that foreskins are despicable. They're gross as hell.
I just want to see one.
in person.
I feel like I can't speak on it. And
Not even on, like, you never looked at a porn and seen one?
yeah, but in person.
An assessment.
Like I feel like I can't speak on it, and I feel like a little. Like,
Well, it retracts back when hard.
yeah, like it
yeah.
pulls down.
Yes. It does. Yeah. It folds back. So
It's convertible.
yeah. Essentially,
top goes down. He's ready to party.
Like a soft top.
like a retractable
Hopefully not a
dome.
soft top.
Yeah, like a baseball stadium, like a retractable dome, like it pops back, right? But if soft, it could be jarring if you're not used to it, right? So, but there are women who think it's disgusting, and I'm not too sure. As a person who has a foreskin, you guys know I have a foreskin.
Is it a fascination that women have, speaking for yourself, that women have, like, because you want to see if it's like sexual thing, or you just like are just desperate to see, you just want to see what it looks like? Because I've never seen one in
This is
person either.
curiosity.
For a living, I should be able to speak on it.
That's
I feel
true.
Like
That's a good point.
I don't want. I feel like I need more education on it. But I was one night with a bunch of girlfriends. I was sitting around the table.
For a sec.
Sure.
One of the mics. Number 3. We could tap everyone's mic. One of them just died. One of them might have just gotten like randomly unplugged or something.
Which one's 3?
3. Hold on, everyone. I think. Tap. Yeah, we lost you. Oh my gosh.
For how long?
No, not for long. I just noticed it. Like I could hear the difference.
Okay.
So.
Oh, your foot, Scopo, just unplugged her thing. It's right by your feet.
Yeah. I thought it
My
was-
bad.
Oh, okay.
So we just
All
moved
good.
this around. We're still trying to.
All good.
Yeah.
Figured it out.
Do you guys remember like we take it back maybe like 20 seconds before I said like? There you go.
You just asked why I want to see one.
Oh yeah, I'll just go back.
And maybe acknowledge the cut. A little bit, Right?
That's fine. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, no, there's a fucking difference.
The cut, huh?
The cut.
All right, we're back. Wait, let me get a test. Good. We're back.
So, so why do you want to see a? This is just seems so.
I gotta say, I feel like I should be able to speak on it as like a person that talks about sex.
So
for a
your
living.
next show, you hire a guy, a stripper with uncircumcised.
I know.
And you put that
It'll
out
have
as
to
the,
be in
as the
like
wanted ad.
It'll have to be in like a top tier market where there's more selection. But we can ask for this.
Yeah, are you having a European tour anytime soon?
That's a good call.
Yeah.
I mean, I will tell you. One night I was sitting around like at a dinner with a bunch of girls, and it came up like, "What's the best sex you ever had?" And then like dicks came up, like circumcised, and a lot of them said it was with a guy that was uncircumcised.
Yes.
That could have also just meant like a guy who's not American, like a white dude, American dude.
Sure.
No, I think there's like nerve endings in the foreskin. Not to get too scientific
how
and
does that
biological.
affect her?
You don't have one, so don't mansplain.
How do your
Listen.
nerve endings affect the woman's pleasure?
Because maybe if they're more into it.
They're
and, like,
sharing nerves.
well, like
what do you?
Is it Avatar?
Yeah, Avatar. You're connecting your
Are
tails.
you done, pizza boy? The flaps, the flaps that go back.
Flaps. Is
Well,
that a
like
technical term?
the skin. No, it's
So
not a
when
technical
you put
term.
the convertible down,
When the top goes down, when the top drops,
Yeah.
if you will.
you're cruising on the PCH.
Well, yeah, like the skin, the thing, it goes down, and then the flaps rub, and apparently that's what's
Okay,
better.
a little more going on.
A little more going
on
on
the inside.
This is why I don't wear cock rings, Christopher Scopo, because I already got my own little
Keep it
things going
natural.
on. Yeah, I got my own little things going on. Yeah.
Do they vibrate though?
They
the
do
flaps
not vibrate. No
I
vibrations for
guarantee
me.
you, my cock ring is better than your flap.
Ew.
Yeah.
This sounds like a Patreon challenge.
Oh my god.
It's disgusting. Don't ever say that. Don't ever look me in the eye and say
I'll
that.
say it anytime of the week, all right?
So they were saying that. They were saying that foreskin more pleasurable than.
Or I mean, they didn't say
foreskin.
that, but there was a correlation.
No, apparently it's true.
Okay.
Probably have to work harder. There's probably some like having to work harder as a guy who already has like a disadvantage that you assume that they're not going to enjoy it. Or they're going to be weirded out, so you got to really come with your A game.
I work my tail off regardless. I'm never thinking about that.
You're a hardworking guy.
I,
yeah.
buddy, I'm
You're
like,
always a bench player looking for minutes.
buddy, I am.
what you are.
I'm Rudy. That's
yeah.
exactly what I am. I'm coming off the bench and I'm going.
You're putting in full court press every time.
100%.
And the only person you have to let down is yourself. And
Which
your
I have.
And your entire town.
Yeah, which I have for sure. But yeah, okay. Well, we're the next time you see you finally see a dick with
I am
with a
trying
foreskin.
to find one.
You don't have to go too far,
We'll
honestly.
put the word out.
Yeah.
We'll send a group text. Anyone out there wants to fly to New York, set this up. We'll do it like we'll do it like
Yeah.
an event so that you're not just like in an alleyway somewhere. Be like, show me your cock.
Yeah. Maybe. Well, Mike, you're coming with me to Philly. Maybe we can just try to.
Oh yeah, we could
Any
find
uncircumcised guys.
I could recruit. And
Okay.
if your brother's there, like he's a big dude, like we could bodyguard. That'd
Yeah.
be weird to have your brother watching you watch a cock. That's a tough one.
That's a tough one,
That's
for
a
sure.
tough look.
That's gonna work out.
Just explaining to her mom what's going on. I watch Ashley look at cocks all day. So I can't do
I
that,
feel like
guys.
my mom would love it. She's like, "Can I take a peek?" Like she would be really.
Such a mom way to say
That's
it.
a nice one. I like that, Ashley. That's a nice one right there. I would go with that boy.
I love the Jewish mother.
Mom's a tune
I was
about
having
it.
my mom's accent, whatever that is.
yeah.
So other than the cock ring stuff, that we did want to try to chat with you a little bit about, because especially it's pretty on cue and brand for your podcast and stuff. We talk a lot about relationship stuff, sex stuff. We've covered some sex stuff, but there's questions about ghosting that I've always had that I think women always have about men that I'd love to try to like figure that out and like understand like why guys can't communicate properly with women.
I know.
Why can't we
Well, I've been
communicate?
ghosted before.
Oh yeah, we all do it.
Of course.
I think I always say if you go on one date with somebody, you don't hook up with them. It's just like drinks. It's a app date with a
Yeah.
stranger. Like I think a mutual ghost is fine.
Yeah,
I don't think you owe anybody.
I remember that one time with mutual ghosting. It was like it just didn't work out.
Just-
I was
you
like,
didn't, you
it
know.
was walked away, and I was like, you know what? If she texts me, I'll say, hey, I'm not into it.
Yep.
But I was like, I'm not going to respond.
Yep.
Text
What's a
her.
ghosting situation you've had where you like it actually like
Okay, so
angered you or like you're like this is bullshit?
okay, so I have a situation that's kind of become this like legend on our podcast because like no one can figure it out. This isn't a thing where this is not something that like broke my heart by any stretch. It was just so confusing to me, and I'd love to get your guys' theories. So like one night I was at the stand and was doing my set and how did this like all start? I basically just was crowd working, and this guy was there, and he was alone, and he was cute, and he was tall. He was like drinking a martini, and I did this whole bit. It's like I posted it, like has gotten like a lot of views at this point because
Sounds British.
You just watch it, huh?
He sounds British. A man alone in a basement drinking a martini.
I mean,
this guy is not from America.
This guy James Bond.
It was crazy. He like came out of nowhere, and you can see in the video, I'm like really flirting with this guy, and like everybody's watching this whole thing go down. I was like, who is this guy? Is he like a plant? Like, how did this happen? He's here alone. This is crazy. So I just did all this material. People were like eating it up. I just like kept it going, ended on a really high note. And like, that was it. I couldn't see him because of the lights. I would just like could hear his voice. He said he was tall, whatever. And, after the show, I went and like was sitting in the booth, and 2 of my girlfriends who would come to the show just to like support me walk out with him, and they're like, here he is, and they were like, we asked, do you want to like hang out with Ashley? And he was like 100%. So they like plop him down. He sits down next to me, and he is like locked in. Like I was like, it kind of surprised me. He was like really flirty, really close to me, and was like wanting to hang. Like there was no like he had anywhere to be.
So
like,
were you confused or like baffled at this point, or was this awesome? I
loved it. He was younger. I was getting kind of like a little bit of a young bro-y vibe. I mean, I like younger guys, but I was like, he's really hot. So I'm just going to like see this
from New
through.
York?
He said he lives in New York, from LA originally.
Oh, that's a first.
Went to NYU. So
this is like a male comic's dream. If like if a girl and her friends bring, hey, this girl's really interested in you, and she's like, yeah, I am. It's like, this is the easiest thing I've ever had.
Well, this doesn't happen often though.
I don't think it happens to women as much. I think it happens to guys so much more.
And this is really interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like it would happen pretty often.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it. I mean, I think I'm awesome. I don't know how much the average guy wants like a woman.
Female
that, like,
comedians are intimidating.
That's like talking about dick and all this stuff.
Yeah,
so I don't know. Like I can own it. I get it. It's not for everybody. So I mean, I feel like there's a lot that has to happen for that to even. You have to think I'm attractive. You have to be okay with what I'm doing. Like, it's kind of not, I'm not every guy's cup of tea. So we're like vibing, and then I'm like, this guy's like really trying to hang. And I was like, all right, I'll see that. I'll like make out with him, whatever. So I was hungry. I was like, do you want to go get a slice? And he was like, what if we like went to dinner? I'm like, what? So it's like 11 p.m. So I like like guys who can figure shit out. So I was like, I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Just like, why don't you figure out where we're gonna go for dinner? I'm like, hey, it's 11 o'clock. He wants to go sit down and have a meal. So I come out of the bathroom. He was like, let's go to Little Frankie's. They're open like late. So
choice.
We walk
Guys
down
got
there.
taste.
We're like vibing. Like we're really like flirty and close. We walk all the way down from Union Square to the Lower East Side. Yeah. Like just really getting to know each other. We go to Little Frankie's. We shut the place down. We're there till 2 a.m. We're having wine. We're like really getting to know each other. We're having pizza, pasta. We had this like amazing date. I was like, what is going on? This is like crazy. He pays, and we go back to my house, and I was like, I'm not going to sleep with this guy. And we were just kind of chatting. He was like, well, I'm not going to, do anything you don't want to do. I'd like love to come in and keep hanging, meet your dog, yada, yada. He comes in. We were like, I mean, I felt like we were intimate. We were like making out. We were talking. We were like laying, like cuddled up on the couch. Like it was this really like intimate night. I was like, I'm into this guy.
This sounds like this is the beginning of like a murder podcast. Like that's what it feels like. And then
it's either two ways. Like this is gonna be like the man of your dreams, or
I feel like I've been a lot of situations where I don't, not a lot actually. Like I usually hear from the person. So I was like, there's no way I'm not gonna hear from this guy. He left. He was like, let's get together next week. I'm going out of town after that, but like, let's get together next week. He got my number, and then I put my number in his phone, and I never heard from him again. Okay. And it was so.
You text him at all?
I didn't have his number. Like I
gave him your number.
I was so sure, and there was no way nothing said to me like, make sure you get his too. Like I don't, whatever. So I was like, there's no way. This guy's like so into me, like this is like a love story. And so I was like, gave him my number, and I never heard from him again. And we've all had situations in our lives where you just never hear from someone again that you had a thing with. Yeah. This one really shook me. I didn't see it coming.
What is your opinion? What do you think happened?
Well,
I think my opinion, he wasn't from New York, and he had a girlfriend back wherever he was from, and then he's like, oh, maybe if I hook up with her. And if not, I have a girlfriend, so I'm not going to do it. And then that was it.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. And then like the reason he didn't get your number was a sure sign to me that he had somebody else.
He got my number.
No,
I'm
She
sorry,
did-
He got you don't
You
have
didn't
his
get his
number.
number,
because
yeah.
you couldn't
you can't
get-
text him.
Yeah,
now
yeah,
there's no
yeah.
evidence of you texting
that
him.
night at all.
Right.
It's
I
a
mean, you guys
state-
are probably right. Like, I mean,
You got his you got his full name.
I didn't even get his last name.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
I
Did
which
this
is
really
kind of
happen?
unlike me. That's
Are
why
you
I was
sure
like,
this actually happened?
I have one picture that his arm is in because I'm like, did I dream this? Like, was this a ghost?
It might have been. It's an actual ghost story.
So, and a couple weird things.
Okay.
Like, so he was there alone. He said that he knew the girl that was hosting the show. She did not know him.
Okay.
Actually.
Oh.
And then I checked. I was just so. Then we told shared on our podcast, so people got really invested. So I was like, I'm going to do some digging and like give the people what they want. I got Joe at the stand to show me who bought tickets that night. His name was not on the list at all, and the show was sold out, so he wasn't like a walk up. There was just so many mysteries.
I have a theory now.
Okay.
Time traveler. This guy doesn't exist in this realm of existence. He doesn't not in this
Yeah.
time plane. Yeah.
Or I thought he was like lying about something, like he was way younger, like he was like a high school senior. You know what I mean? Like there was either
A
another
martini
girl.
is something a high schooler would be like, martini? Like that's it. Because you don't go beer. Like what kind of beer? Like how old are you?
It's so true.
That's like something I would, if I was out at a club, I'm like, what would an old person drink? Martini.
There's no way
one
the
in their
guy's
right mind.
18 and he's pulling the wool over everybody's eyes in New York
This is
City,
the
for
most
Christ's
suavest
sake.
18-year-old I've ever met in
There's
my
no way.
life.
I will sort of. Okay, before I do agree with Scopo, what is the consensus of what people think? Like, what is the most popular answer that people think? Because Scopo has a valid.
Yeah.
My guess was
I'm good
a
with
little
ghosting stories.
Well,
I've
you're
ghosted and I've had it done to me.
you're
so I know what's
fine.
going on.
Old Casper.
you're
So
fine.
here's the thing, but he's also like a liar because he said he told me where he lived, as in like he lived on 29th. You know what I mean? So maybe
One
it was
time
like,
I made up a lie that I was from San Diego and I was visiting my brother for his birthday.
Okay.
I hooked up with a girl.
Okay.
And I was from
At his apartment.
Yeah. I currently live with my parents. I live with my parents at the time. I'm
Yeah.
from San Diego. Sorry. Yeah.
I think you're probably right. Here's what didn't feel like Raina's theory is that there's another girl, like whether they're, that's just more ahead of you on the totem pole, like probably not a girlfriend. The way that he acted was not a guy with a girlfriend in terms of like he was locked in. We were
'cause
running
he
around the
didn't have a
city
girlfriend
having dinner. Yeah, that's what she was somewhere else. Is like what I'm.
Well, no,
thinking.
I'm assuming that it was during the week,
a Thursday night.
probably in town for business, work, whatever, and he's by himself. Mm-hmm. He probably knows the city a little bit, so he can make up where he lives. Probably staying at a hotel or something like that. And I know the city. I can make up where I live. I'm going back to your place. Why would he invite you back to his place?
Yeah.
Another thing is another reason why. That's probably what I mean. Listen, as a scumbag, I would do that way. I would do that.
Where
That was my
did
story.
when you guys decided Little Frankie's? Did he already know where you lived?
No, but I don't. He knew I lived in the East Village.
So he knew that area. If you went to that place, that was
Smart
closer
guy.
to your
He
house.
was heading towards your house.
Okay.
So I think I agree with Scopo, except
agree with
for I
Scopo
don't
a
think
lot.
he has a girlfriend. I think that he
Didn't
was
like
from out of
me.
town. No, I think that he just was like, oh, I think I can get laid. He didn't get laid, and he's
No,
like, that's it.
I fully agree with
girlfriend
Scopo.
because if he comes
Yeah.
back to the city for work, he's gonna want to hit you up again.
100%.
To get laid again. So there's a
Yeah.
definitely has
Scopo
somebody.
is
Wow, man.
dialed in. I've
That's
never seen you
actually-
so dialed
I
in,
also,
bro.
I would say, I feel like I know what it feels like when a guy really wants to fuck, and I was not really getting that. I was getting like, we can make out, that's
Yeah,
fine.
because
yeah.
he's letting you make the decision. Because
Yeah.
if you push too hard, it's a no. If I back off
Yeah.
a little bit and let her want me, it's more likely yes than no.
Speaking of scumbag,
Unbelievable.
You just keep proving your
Yeah,
resume.
yeah.
I like that you're
Guys, I
wearing,
know
you're
what
wearing
I know what I'm doing here. Okay,
you're wearing the color of a ghost, by the way.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing here. It's pretty.
Are you really here?
Was it him?
Or about 4 places.
Is he dead?
I'm from the future. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
The future is bleak. women.
They sent me back, so that's why you know.
Bruce Willis over here. No, look, I think Scopo has hit the nail on the head. My theory was now outlandish because of how I think accurate Scopo
Well, the
is.
reason why I'm saying this because I've been on a date with a girl. I'm like, I'm not never seeing her again, but I can still try to get laid. But if I don't push too hard, let's go back to your place, let's hang out and do that. But you make all the decisions.
Yeah.
You feel like you're in charge,
Yes,
and I can
100%.
hook up.
Because once women feel that, I mean, at least me, I'm like gross. Like if I feel like you're pressuring me into having
No,
sex,
yeah,
like
yeah,
I don't,
yeah.
you know
Especially
what I
on
mean?
the first night, whatever. You
Yeah.
have to make them seem like they're controlling the situation.
So what was your outlandish theory?
Mine was, it doesn't make any sense now because Scopo's was pretty good. I thought maybe he just was sort of too drunk or maybe a little bit coked out or something, and then the next day he was just like, you know, I'm not going to hit her up. I just had a surge of confidence. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Coke, or she would have picked up. If they're drinking at 2 a.m, you're not a dumb person. You can realize, oh, something's going on with his face.
Maybe he just had maybe he just had a little bit of gusto that night, and then just pulled back. He's like, that's not like me. But I think it makes more sense.
In your apartment? Did he like use the bathroom? Did he do something that could have possibly embarrassed
him?
Shit in your apartment?
No, did he do when he got to your apartment? Did he excuse him and blow up the bathroom and be like, I gotta go? Like I can't be. I can't.
Fucking beagle? What are you talking about?
I will say, like,
shit in apartment.
I'm also the first person to be like, he just wasn't that into me. Also, but because it happens, but it just didn't feel like that. And also, I think that guys always resurface. Like they like to keep you on the bench. Like I've honestly in my life never had really a situation like that where I'd never heard from the person again. Sometimes they resurface like weeks, months later, and you're like, oh my god, because guys like to keep you on the bench.
Did he ask you for your Instagram or his Instagram? No, right?
Absolutely not.
Well, her Instagram he can find, but yeah.
That's a sign. I mean, yeah, but that's if he goes, "Hey, follow me, follow you." We'll talk like that way. That's a sign. You now have tracks of him. Now you keep tabs of him.
Yeah.
You got nothing.
Now
I
got
nothing.
You got zero.
First name and
you got zero.
I'm gonna throw one extra on this. He's got kids.
He's a
professional.
He's going alone. Do you know for sure he's young, or does he look young?
He also looked young. Like Adele was like, that kid looked young. Actually, when we walked.
If he lives in the city, he's not going to a comedy show on a Thursday by himself. He's gonna have a friend.
Wait a minute.
If he's a total fucking nerd.
He said his friend bailed. You know,
that's not true.
Okay, I mean, I'm telling you this detail.
Not true at all.
Wait, was this you?
You have no other friends.
That's for sure. His mask comes off. It's Scopo.
This is the whole reason we wanted you on the show. We listened to your episodes.
Sorry about that, Mike. I apologize.
I think that he might have Tom Hanks'd you. Maybe it was an 8-year-old in the body of a 22-year-old. Maybe this is a child, and he's waiting until he gets out of middle school before he can propose to you.
This is the set of the movie Big.
The craziest thing is Scopo has been right through and through and through and through. Just when I was like, he can't be more right, he's more right. I swear to God, this is unbelievable. This is a gift that you have.
Your skills have finally paid off.
I'm very good at this stuff.
You are a scumbag. You are a professional scumbag.
What about you?
You truly
what's
are.
your ghosting situation? Like, what have you ghosted where you're like, have you felt bad at all about being like, I fucked this up? Because guys can learn from that. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I feel like if a woman doesn't reply to you within like 2 or 3 attempts, that's when you should stop. But we always are like, come on, where you at? Where like you see all those posts?
If I'm getting nothing back, I'm like,
but you see posts on like
if it's
TikTok and shit where people are like, hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up? What are you up to? It's just nonstop. It's like, man, have you not gotten the hint?
I know. I mean, I think that one date, no touching. I don't just take the hint. And I mean, if someone were to continuously harass me, I would be like, I'm not interested. But I don't know. I went on this date with this guy. I hated it. We just were not vibing. And I think he had a better time. He hit me up a day or two later and was like, said something trying to, you know, and I just never responded. I didn't feel bad. Yeah. I was busy. I mean, again, if he would have kept at it, I would have been like, hey, I just don't see anything here. One time I felt really bad about this guy in New York. A guy went out with when I first moved here. We did make out. We had a really fun night. Ultimately, I was just like, you know, not over my ex, trying to make him jealous. I posted that guy on my Instagram story. I was just being a brat, you know. And I could tell he really liked me, and he continued to hit me up. And I responded, but like never wanted to go out with him again. And finally, I just stopped responding. Where I maybe should have been more like, I'm not interested in this.
See, I've been in situations where I've like ghosted for a long time. Like I've done that a lot, and I never felt good about it, whether it was like deserved or not. Like I never felt like, oh, this is the right thing to do. I was like, I feel bad when the text comes in. But I remember the first time I was like, I'm not going to ghost anymore, no matter what. I'm going to just tell them how I feel because I'm doing the wrong thing. I need to do the right thing. First time it ever happened, completely backfired on me. I said, hey, I've had a great time. I had a great time with you. I just don't think we're vibing. I just don't think this is going anywhere. You know, if you want to be friends, cool. But if not, like, you know, good luck. And phone calls. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't fucking did. Like,
there's crazy people, Mike. Like,
no, but this happened more than once.
Is that why guys do it to avoid that?
So.
No. I don't know. Our friend Dylan Palladino. I mean, I don't know what he does. I don't know what he makes. What women believe when he's with them. You know, he's my friend, but he's. I know Dylan. He's shown us some situations in which he is honest, and it like. She goes crazy, and I think that maybe he doesn't seek out the most like secure, stable women.
Yeah,
but
I would
like
say that more.
That's for sure.
But I would asking you three is the reason why guys ghost is to avoid that like it feels easier than
Half of it is to feel easier, and half is just like, I don't want to deal with this. I remember one time.
I'd rather get ghosted, honestly, than be the one.
Oh no, I'd rather ghost.
Then,
I'd rather ghost than be ghosted. Yeah.
No, than be the one to say, hey, this isn't gonna work out. I'd rather her not respond than me have to go out of the way and say, hey, look, wasn't into the date. Like,
Maybe
I'd rather
ghosting
be
is the
ghosted.
thing to do. Maybe everyone should be
it's
ghosting.
also dependent on what your relationship was. Like, it's such a dick move to have a full blown relationship with somebody. You've slept together. You've gotten close, and they just like disappear. But like a couple dates,
I
don't
not
think-
a man or like a woman. You'd be an adult. Come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I think you making out with someone and then he hits you up and you go, yeah, and then you're not responding isn't necessarily ghosting.
Yeah, no.
So I think it's
people
like,
misuse the word too.
for sure.
Because I've also been dumped in a way that I'm like, I just wish I would have been ghosted on this. I was dating a girl. I like to the point where I went to a work event with her type of thing, and then eventually she like after like I don't know maybe a month or two of dating, she goes, "Hey, I just want to be honest. The other guy I'm seeing, it's getting more serious." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I remember that girl.
I remember that girl too.
Yeah, I was like, "What?"
Did you make her breakfast?
Yeah, several times.
You overcooked the eggs.
Yeah.
Several times, like we met a lot. Like we were hanging out, and she met friends. It was like a whole thing. And then she goes, "Yeah, the other guy I'm seeing is getting more serious." I'm like, And we had the conversation like, you're not seeing anyone, right? I'm not seeing anybody. He's like, no.
Yeah, that was her. That was her.
Wasn't this the girl that we were dating at the time?
Yeah, that was
that's
her.
a different girl.
That's a different girl.
That's a different girl.
No, that was her.
That was not. 100% not. I promise you. That was a girl from City Island. Different girl.
The City
No.
Island chick?
No. He's thinking of something else. He's thinking of something else.
yeah.
We
No,
were
it
not
was
dating the same
it was
girl.
it was that girl.
It was that girl. Yeah.
You were dating this girl?
No.
No.
We'll talk about this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I
That's
wish
pretty nuts.
I would have rather her ghosted me than tell me that she's got a serious boyfriend. Also, I'm like,
I
we
like
were holding
that girl,
hands.
bro.
She was great.
That was the
Like
girl.
she met you guys. That's crazy.
Yes.
She met my girlfriend, and they were gonna go into business
yeah,
together.
they had this. It was honestly.
They were gonna do it. Too.
It was
That
mind-boggling.
Olivia now.
yeah, she goes to my
Yeah.
girlfriend.
It
Now
was
I got a problem with
mind-boggling.
her.
I was like, I just was like, this. I don't even know how to respond to this.
That's crazy. That girl. Yeah, that.
And I
girl's
would have
a little
rather
nuts.
have just been ghosted. To
Didn't
be
you
honest.
see her? Didn't you run into her with
Oh yeah, I
What you
did.
should have done is propose, and then she would have left with the other guy, and
I've
she could
tried
have
that
come
before,
back around.
and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You both get emotionally left in the dust.
Yeah.
And then you can't have a real relationship for about a decade. Not the point. No, I saw her with my current girlfriend, who is a great person.
Becca, how are you?
Okay, there's the
Why did
camera.
I look at the camera too?
But we were out at a bar somewhere in the city, some hotel bar, and I saw this girl come in. I go, "Is that her?" And I saw her with a guy, and they were clearly together. And it wasn't that far after. It was new. My relationship now was fairly new. And I go, "Oh, she definitely lost." Like, I guess from what I understood, he had money, or he was like a
What a loser.
Lost on that one. Yeah.
But he
Not paying for anything. What a loser.
It looked very boring, and
Buddy,
she caught my eye.
The
And
last
she
time
was
she
like,
saw you,
pretty
you having
furious.
breakfast with the three of us. I think she won on that one.
Well, look at me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I do have nightmares of girls that I've ghosted and just like seeing me at a bar or something like that and
Right.
just pouring a glass of beer on my head.
Yeah.
I wake up
Those
in
are
cold
actually my
sweats.
dreams. So it's bizarre.
But I think that some of the thing we don't realize is that how often people don't think about you or us. You know, like you think about that, like, oh, I'm gonna run into these women. Like they don't fucking think about you. Like, do you think about these guys ever? You're like, ugh. If you saw them in public, you're like, whatever.
I mean, I did.
Throw a beer on Scopo.
I had a situation where I went out with this guy. We had a really great date. But I mean, when I moved here, I was just dating a lot. I wanted to like see the city and go on dates and do all this fun stuff. So I had this like all night date with this guy. We made out on the street. We stayed in touch. And then he was like, we had talked about going to Roberta's. And so he was like, when do you want to go? And I just like, I don't know. I just never responded. Like, I don't know. We had went on one date. I meant to. Again, you get busy. And then I was like, fuck. And then time goes by. And then I did see him out and I was on another date. And it was like a very much, I need to avoid that guy situation.
Yeah.
It was
but that
a
was
weird.
more for, you didn't want him to see you, not like
Yeah.
you weren't emotionally stable.
But
enough.
also I think he was like, oh, she didn't want to go out again. Like it wasn't.
Yeah, it really isn't that big of a deal.
It wasn't. He sent
Yeah.
one text, I didn't respond, and I think
It's over.
we went on one date. Yeah.
I think that's the nature of the beast when you date online dating,
Yeah,
right?
you're
Like
strangers.
it's gonna happen, but also there is like a spectrum of like what ghosting really is and what I made out with a guy and then I sort of didn't respond and then we didn't talk because we had a friend on the podcast, Steph Tolev, very funny comic, and she was like talking to a guy for like a month and like went to the city he was in and he ghosted her when she was there. Like,
oh my gosh.
like that's ghosting.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, like shit like that. Like organizing a date, showing up, and then the guy doesn't even come. Like, that is ghosting.
Yeah.
I don't think necessarily. There has to be different words for it, different
for sure.
terminology.
It feels like you have some sort of a quote unquote relationship. Otherwise, it doesn't really apply. I think you have had to like have been intimate in some way, like, you know, a couple dates here and there. Like, you know, we're all out here dating. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Have you ever been like told, like communicated with, like, hey, this isn't going to work in a way that you know was complete bullshit? It was just like a full on excuse, and you could just see right through it. Has that ever happened? I'll give you an example.
Okay, yeah, give me an example.
I dated a girl for a little while. We had a lot of fun. And it was probably like a month and a half worth. And then she just said, hey, I really enjoy hanging out with you, but I'm looking for something a little more serious. And I was like, I felt like we've been I've not been not serious. And I was like, oh, she just doesn't want to go out with me anymore. She's just like using that excuse to say, oh, I don't like you.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is just a bullshit excuse.
That's a funny thing to say.
I also did try to finger her in the streets.
What, she's like, I want to get married tomorrow?
Yeah,
I'm
I think she might have actually liked
had you
dude.
said you didn't want to be serious?
No.
Like,
no,
what
no,
if you were
but
like...
also, like, I was a little, like, it would always end up every night we were just hammered, and then like I'd walk her home and we'd be like licking each other in her doorway, and then she'd go out. You know, it's like it wasn't serious. Like
I know, but
it was
what
pretty bad.
But what if
I tried to push her into I did push her into we were making out. I pushed her into a phone booth, and I was
hot.
like.
What is this,
Yeah, but
1974?
but also,
Phone booth.
it
What are you
was
talking
filled
about
with
now?
with bum shit and like piss.
Oh, that's not hot
She
in
goes,
New
"This is
York."
No, it's
disgusting." I go, "No,
disgusting.
you're right." And I was
Okay.
like, there were some weird
It's
moments.
where homeless people pissed.
Yeah,
Phone booths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
was-
what if you would have said like, great, I would love to be more serious?
I did.
Oh.
I replied with her. I was
Oh,
like,
you
I'm
did?
sorry that I if that's the impression you gave, but I definitely would see this being a thing. And she just never replied.
Oh my
back.
God.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Okay.
that.
So she went, oh fuck, I
It
should have just let him go.
backfired.
Like I should have just backfired on her because I was like, no, I'm ready to go. Let's get serious. And she was
Yeah.
like, ugh, and she never replied.
Want
to
to
me.
move to the cottage? Kids, let's go. What are we doing here?
Let's take this phone booth licking to the next level. Actually, yeah, no, for sure.
Since your podcast is about like sex and all that stuff, do you find
Is that
it
a fair
harder?
statement, by the way? Your podcast is about sex and all that stuff.
I mean,
It's like relationships,
Yeah,
sex. It's like
It's you're
Yeah.
known as the dating person.
Yeah.
They're talking about
So-
strippers, cock rings. I
dating,
think that's
relationships, and sex.
pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's tougher to find a guy because he might be like, oh, she's down to fuck constantly?
I mean, I think that there's a challenge with she's going to talk about me on the podcast,
Okay.
That
or
too.
like, because we're just really open. I mean, I had this situation in a city that we were in where I matched with this guy in Hinge right before the show, and I was like, I'm at a show. I think this is a funny thing to do. I was like, I'm getting ready for a show, and he looked me at the Vogue Theater. We were in Vancouver, and he looked me up. He was like, "Oh, you are the show," and I was like, "Hi, I know, crazy, right?"
really? Oh, you saw?
And we kind of started to flirt.
I'm
And
gonna have a
then,
Rolex. Jeez, crazy.
and then like full circle, he went to my Instagram, which I didn't love. I don't like,
That's creepy.
Yeah,
But then he saw the video of the other guy, which how that video started was I was asking if people were getting their mouth spit in the summer, and that guy had raised his hand. That's how the whole crowd work started with the previous
Sure,
ghoster
sure,
guy.
sure.
So he was like, "Did you ever find somebody to spit in your mouth?" And so I was like, "Interesting." He's
Hello.
like really, and he was like, "You're really stand-up's funny." I was like, "Please stop what you're doing. I don't want to fuck a fan tonight. Like you're
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
hot
yeah.
dude." So we went back and forth a couple times, and then I went out on stage, and I pulled up his profile. I didn't say his name, no defining details. I just read the exchange because it was really funny. It started to get like kind of
This is in that city?
sexy. Yeah,
Like
on
the next
stage.
day?
So
On,
I was like,
in the
night,
theater,
that
yeah,
night.
wow.
so I was
okay.
like 5 minutes ago, this happened, and again, you would never know who this was, but I'd gotten off stage and he had unmatched me. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if like someone in the audience posted at the show and he was like, "Oh, I'm talking to the girl at the show," and she was like, "She just read your text on stage."
Maybe.
Something happened to unmatch me. So
He wasn't there,
He was not there.
so
mean,
maybe.
you know.
Yeah, you might not know. He might have.
He was lying because he was like, "Oh, you're the show."
Yeah, I don't know if that was me. I'd be like, well,
Was
now
it sold
now
out?
you
He
owe me one.
He could have got a ticket real quick and be like,
He could
fuck
have.
it.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He
Take it real
could
quick.
sold out.
have.
It was
Yeah,
sold
so she got a Rolex. It was sold out.
Nice. Oh my god, it's a family heirloom.
Is it really?
I mean, I bought it from my dad.
Full retail, whatever.
No, it was discounted. I really got a steal. During quarantine, I was like, "Bring out your watches." My dad's a watch guy, and I was like, "That one looks a little feminine." And like my mom and I just started roasting him, and I was like, "I'll
so
buy
funny.
it off you." So, I think about it sometimes. I don't think it's for everybody, for sure. I think that hearing me talk about all this stuff week after week, I don't think a lot of guys would want it. I mean, you guys wouldn't care because you're in the same type of industry, but I don't think the average guy really loves it.
I know
No
it's funny,
way.
like, I saying that, but like if your name was constantly on a podcast every week, it's you gotta really be confident in yourself. Maybe you fuck up or whatever, you do something stupid sexually or whatever, like people are gonna hear it.
Well,
It's
I
like,
wouldn't- I mean,
that's
I-
tough.
I think that's
tough.
what she's saying.
That's
like,
what I'm
it's-
saying though. You really got to be a confident guy to be like, yeah, let's,
no, for
it's
sure.
fine.
But I mean, I want to be clear that I would never like, you know, we're super careful, and rarely do we say like really negative things about a guy. Like I can't
And you're not
imagine a
gonna
world
name names,
in which
yeah.
anyone knows something negative, especially sexually, about a guy. Like if we talk about anything, it's like this awesome thing happened. And I mean, I think some guys like this guy that I slept with in LA, I talked about, you know, giving him like a blowjob in the shower, and he like texted me when he heard it. He was like, "This is hilarious." Like I think he liked it, but also there's probably part
Logan
of him
Paul?
that was like, I don't what?
Is it Logan Paul?
Wait, no, Jake Paul. He came to a show I did
Oh, I was
recently.
gonna say, imagine if it was Logan Paul.
Yeah. Wait, why'd you ask that?
I don't know. If I'm famous in LA, that's why.
So, but I did a show recently at the Hollywood Improv, like maybe a month or so ago, when Jake Paul was front row. It was really,
Really?
funny.
He just broke up with his girlfriend.
You know a lot about
How do
Jake
you know
Paul.
this?
Because it was on Twitter and he unmatched. He has her in photos, but I guess what do you not unmatch her, but untagged her. He untagged her in
Untagged
every
her.
photo.
Interesting.
And people are like, "That's fucking weird." And
Are
I'm
you
like,
trying to make a match here?
Hey,
Yeah, what's going on?
listen, he's
he
a
was
good
pretty. He was a
he's
good sport. I
good-looking guy.
I roasted him. It was really fun.
He's a good-looking guy. He can fight.
Yeah.
I forget. I get the brothers mixed up.
Logan's the really, really sexy one, and Jake is the one with tattoos in his head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got him. Got him.
Jake is
sexy
Jake is Thor and Logan is Loki. Logan is Thor.
Man, he's getting
And
real hard right now.
and Jake is Loki. That's what it really
Okay.
comes down to.
Is
It's
Logan?
Marvel.
Logan's older.
Logan's
he was like
older,
the
yeah.
original.
And he was front row.
Yeah.
Jake was
No,
front
Jake
row.
was front
Jake was
row.
front row. Okay.
And
So
like-
wait, the sexy one was front row?
They're both
Less
sexy. Let's be
sexy.
real.
Less
Let's be
sexy.
real. They're both
Okay. Well, then
I,
we're not.
he was cool though. I was like roasting him. He was with his like maybe his bodyguard or his friend. I was like, "Are you guys a couple?" And I just was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"I think
yeah.
I matched with this guy in Hinge earlier. Does anybody recognize him?" And then it was like right after the Grammys, so I was like, "Don't hit me," you know. Like I was just like did a bunch of stuff. He was cool.
So what's one thing that you wish that guys would do better? Like if there's one thing that you were like, I wish men would be better about this. What is that thing? It could be anything. It doesn't have to be something we talked about. But like,
Eating pussy. No, I'm kidding. I feel like where I find myself a lot is like, what's the plan? Like, I just wish being more upfront and with. I like to know what's going on. I think guys sometimes like do a little. They don't express to you what's going on, what you can rely on them for. Like, I'm not such a. My life is busy. Like,
Yeah.
I want to know like what's going on. Like, I had a situation with a guy, and I just felt like all day he was like, "I'm trying to make it, and I can't." And it wasn't like a. He was like with his boys, and I just wish it would have been I'm with these guys. I never hang out with them. Can we, reschedule? Like, I
Right.
think they're maybe he was scared I'm gonna freak out, but I'm like a mature woman. I mean, I'm
Just
not
be open. I think more
Yeah.
it's like be open. Like, hey, listen, I really want to hang out with you, but I have
Yes.
something going on.
Yes.
Just be. I think after like
would've
you
been
turn
so
30,
easy.
you gotta be like just be open with shit. Like, hey, listen, I have this going on, but I want to hang out with you. I want to see you.
And we'll also like, yes, we're both in our 30s, and you can also just pick up the phone and like, let me hear your voice and be like,
oh,
hey.
fuck. You know what? Text messaging. I after a point, I'm like, let's just fucking talk and have it
Yes.
out right now. 'Cause I can't do it. I
'cause we can't-
I
Have
can't
it
do
out.
Like, let's just have a conversation out right now because I can't be going like 3-word text messages. 10 minutes later, you respond. Let's just have it out here. We'll meet. We'll talk. We'll do this. And then get
think
That's
it's-
how I felt. I felt like it was this back and forth, and then I was kind of getting annoyed because I needed to like plan my day, and then I should have just like picked up the phone.
Just to clarify, this is like in the beginning of a relationship and when you just start talking to someone, or in general, like
I think.
at what
I mean, I
point?
think all the times. Like I think like
I was just thinking about me, and I was like, I'm never organized. Like
and I
think
get that. I think
it's-
like you have to realize how your partner is. I mean, one of the biggest fights my ex and I ever got in, like we were in a serious relationship, and it was like he just wasn't communicate. Like I thought he was picking me up, and he wasn't for this wedding. And it was like he was like, "But I went to run this errand." I'm like, "I thought you were like." It was.
Yeah.
That's what I run into the most. I think that, at least in my life, men are getting better at like expressing their emotions more, how they're feeling. But that's where I get really tripped up. Where like I need to know what's going on. Like
I think that there's two parts of that though, because I know in my life I've been intentionally aloof because I don't want to be too available.
Right.
So guys are like told like, no, you got to play the game.
Yeah,
you
gotta
gotta
look
be a little,
busy.
You can't,
No, but
you
there
can't be too
There are
available.
points when you play the game. There are points you just have it out of you.
But that's what it is.
You've
That's their-
exceeded playing the game sometimes, though, right?
Sure,
Like if
sure.
If they're picking you up for an event,
Exactly.
It's fun to have the date and time.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like
But
you're
have you
now in
ever
a full blown
tried-
relationship.
I wonder if because I've never experienced it where they're just like, hey, just so you know, like, let's just make the plan because we don't have to do this back and forth thing.
Right.
Like, just tell me. Yes, no, right? Like, I don't want this maybe shit.
And that's the guy I was dating right before COVID. I mean, he's totally like a nice guy. Like, but he was, I know he liked me. Like he was just this, I think actually one of the few really aloof dudes. Like I know him now and like we've sort of become friends. Like I don't think it was anything about like playing the game or I don't like her that much. I think he genuinely wanted to see me, but it was like, I can't wait around. And then as I'm always trying to think of the best way to say it so you don't sound like naggy and like, hey, are we getting together or not? You know, you don't want to be that
Because
person.
you don't want to be over available or like wanting too much, and guys don't want to give too much. So it's like this.
It's weird. It's like I wish we
it's a
could
battle.
just be, you know, like I remember one night I thought there was a miscommunication. I thought we were getting together. It was just a mess. I was like, can you just communicate better?
Yeah.
You know.
Just communicate.
Communication is key. It's such an easy thing to do, but
Yeah.
it's so hard to like.
To realize.
It's more being open. It's more like being open and honest, and like you want to put that front on that you're like tough or
Yeah.
whatever. You don't need that. Yeah, it's no problem.
But I mean, I don't have a lot of time. Like I don't do this with my girlfriends, my family. Like I want to know what we're doing and when. I need to like plan on it.
But
so maybe guys just aren't like that as much. They're a little more spontaneous.
Yeah, a little. Maybe spontaneous is too kind of a word, to be perfectly honest with you. But like, even I've been with my girlfriend for 4 years. She's always organizing. She's always planning, and I'm just, I don't know. I mean, I care about her so much, but there are points where I'm like, I got to step up and be more, I got to organize some stuff and take it to the next level, because then I start feeling bad because she's doing, and I don't know why I'm like that. I don't know. Laziness, like she's just always planning. I'm like, oh, that's her job. I don't know. I think guys sometimes are just like that. Like we think that women are the planners, the organizers, and we're just like, tell us what to do and we're going to be there.
Yeah.
Which is not right.
Mm-hmm. But it is, I mean, there are certain things that women just we're just wired a little differently when it comes to that kind of stuff. I mean,
I don't feel that way with certain things. If it's like her friends, yeah, you do everything. But if it's like my friends, I'll take care of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's if I'm organizing an event for sure. But
No, I'm not organizing the event. Like if we went out with my friends a few weeks ago, I was like, hey, I'll be ready at this time, pick you up.
Yeah.
You're just saying that like she organizes everything.
Well, she's wanting to do things more.
But you want to do more. Like you feel bad. Like you feel like you should step in.
Yeah,
That's a good sign.
she's better at figuring out what we're gonna do, where we could go, what to like. I don't have. I'm like, yeah, let's watch a movie. Like I don't.
Yeah.
It's,
Do you live together?
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
But I do feel like bad that she's making all these efforts more than me, but it's not like she's upset or anything. It's just
when I with an ex of mine, like, I mean, we did not work out, but we went to couples therapy like once. I mean, we were just like a mess of a couple. But I mean, we had always had like Monday night date nights where we would just go to a different restaurant in Atlanta, and it was this thing that we came up with ourselves because he had like a different schedule than me completely, and he like work nights, so that was what we decided as a couple. And then even when we went to therapy, they like validated that's like really important. And like that's what you can do to make Ashley feel like your priority is like set this aside. Also, this is like so cheesy, but my love language is quality time. So I'm like really big on like the quality time. Like I don't want to hang out when at like the your leftover shitty time when you're tired. Like
Exactly.
I want to feel like a priority, and I want someone that's like really excited about me. So that's like, it's a turn off to me when someone's not into me. I'm like, I feel like it's my superpower where if a guy's not excited and doesn't want to see me, I'm just like that. I'm not interested. I'm not chasing somebody. I want this to be mutual. I'm like a woman in my 30s. Like it's not, I don't want that. That's not attractive to me. Like the fuckboy thing, the guy that's playing games. I'm like, I'm out on this immediately. But I just want like someone I want to feel like it's a priority of theirs as well. That's kind of what it boils down to.
Yeah.
I think it's an age thing too, because I think every guy goes through a phase of like fuck boy, and then they realize they figure it out like at a certain point. I think every guy is like, there it is. Like sometimes there's like a light bulb moment, but it's a communication thing. I think you nailed it on the head. It's like just talk. Just say the thing you're thinking. And you too, women.
Yeah.
You women. Sorry.
And I mean, I don't know what you guys feel about this statement. Like, I feel like it can be a little controversial, but not controversial. And like, but if a guy wants to see you, he'll see you, like,
100%.
is that, and
1,000%.
sometimes it's just a matter of them not liking you enough,
Yeah.
and so find someone that it does.
But you don't like the chase, but guys like to feel like they're wanted a lot, like in that sense. So if you were to say, hey, I'm good. You know what? Does it seem like it seems like you're busy? No worries. That's probably a trigger that a lot of no, I'm sorry, because they feel like that they're not in charge anymore. So guys like to have that.
Absolutely.
They like to be the one with the
100%.
real. They want to be the one that like is in control of that. But that's like an innate DNA. thing.
Yeah,
I don't think it's like that.
Yeah, don't ever give the guys too much power because no, seriously, the
We'll run with
ball's
it and
in
we'll
their
fuck it up.
balls in their court. Oh man, they're just gonna. They don't. Honestly, it's crazy. Talking to my friends, my girlfriends who are like, oh, I like this guy so much. I told him this, that. I'm like, you're done. You're done. The guy's gonna abuse the power.
And
that's what they do.
I mean,
that's what we do.
The thing you do, women, or like what I did when I was so much younger, and we always talk about this, is like waiting around. Like you can smell it. Like it's just like a guy that you're interested in should never. Unless you have like a booty call thing set up. But if it's someone you're really trying to date and they hit you up at 9 p.m. and like, let's get together now, just lie. You have to say you're busy. Like just don't, unless you're like, I want to fuck and that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think there's a lot to be said. And I don't think that women really want that either. Everybody wants somebody that's like got stuff going on that isn't like waiting around by the phone.
Yeah. Like be available, but not too available.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Ash, thank you so much. We'll wrap it up there. We had like one or two questions. Can we ask our final questions and then we'll call it? Okay, feel free to not answer these.
Oh my God.
They're not like
What are they
crazy,
gonna
but
be?
sometimes they could be a little bit deep.
Mike, not the kids one, eh?
Not the kids one. We'll skip the kids one. Unless you want to do a kids question.
Not the
Well, I
kids
don't
one. I
know.
hate
What's
the
the
kids one. I hate
makes
the
me
kid
sad
one.
every
Me
time
too.
we do it.
What is it?
It's the stupidest thing ever.
I'll ask
You
it.
just had a kid and then you're gonna die
Yeah,
the
you're
next
gonna die in an hour.
Yeah.
What do you say to the kid?
Yeah, you hold the kid, you love the kid, you kiss the fuck the kid one.
I don't want kids. So
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, perfect. There you go.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
That should be on the front of your profile.
Sad.
Well, I say it a lot, and like, people, some girls in our comments last week were like, it's like part of Ashley's personality at this point. I was like, yeah, it is.
Just like your kids are part of your personality. The fuck, it's your whole life.
Exactly.
Do you have what's your biggest regret in life? Do you have like one regret that you're like, fuck?
Oh my God, that is like a deep question. I mean, I have like, I wouldn't change a thing because it all worked out.
Sure.
Yeah, there's one.
If I could, I mean, my life is, I'm living my dream life. I really am. So if I could change some things and still have the exact same life I have right now, I mean, I honestly think I stayed in Atlanta a little too long. I don't think that was like where I should have been for 10 years. But I don't know. I try like to live. I think everything works out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
The thing I beat myself up about is this is really, it's like not that deep, but I should have bought a house in 2020 before the market went crazy. And I actually think about it and beat myself up about a lot because now I am in Delaware at the beach where I was home with my family. I mean, again, it was like, that wasn't on our minds. It was like COVID, but I was, once things started to ease up, I was like always at the beach. I was down there in May 2020, June 2020, July, and I just should have like bought a house. And now you can't buy a house. You can't get a house.
Can't get anywhere near it.
My brother closed on his house in March of 2020. I think he bought it for like $600,000 or $700,000. It's worth over $1 million. Like I could be sitting on this like home that would have been so cheap, and I keep putting offers for houses and I don't get them, and it's like kind of stressful and frustrating.
Yeah.
So that's my like one weird
No,
regret.
No,
That's
that's
a good-
valid.
Just
That's
wait a few years,
valid.
it will crash again. And,
Yeah.
and that's when you have
It's
to
like
strike.
I was like down there. I was like, there was an inventory. Nobody was buying houses. They were still so cheap. And then they just skyrocketed in price and you can't even get one. People.
Buying a house is a
Yeah.
dream for people, though. So it's not something you should be like, oh, this is, I can't complain about this. You should.
I just wish
you
I would have had
should.
the foresight.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been, I would be like, God, I nailed it.
Yeah, we don't
No,
know
it's
money.
huge.
I don't know money.
No,
Like
yeah.
you know, like you can have money. You can have money, but you don't know money.
Yeah,
To be
like,
fair, money doesn't know you.
no, I have no idea.
You've never met.
But like people like, oh, this is gonna go down. This is when you buy. That's like knowing money.
I know.
Like when you know what's gonna There's a guy who made so much money with the housing market in 2020. He's like, oh, I saw this coming a mile away.
I know. That's,
Like,
I wish
this guy
I would
made
have.
so much money, and he sold it. He's probably a few $1 million richer. That's knowing. I wish I fucking just know
I know.
money like that.
Yeah, some people have those gifts, but you have
I can tell.
What does he have?
I can tell who's a scumbag or
This whole
not.
episode, he has the gift of knowing what
Dude,
guys
that's
do what they do.
unbelievable.
That's my gift.
He nailed
It's
the
Casper
biggest,
the Queen's ghost.
it's the biggest mystery in Girls Gotta Eat History, and you solved it.
solved
I
within
honestly
2
think
minutes.
he was very.
Has no
very
one
close.
suggested that before?
I mean, people said like he probably has a girlfriend, but
But he laid it out
I
completely.
think you nailed it in terms of like I don't think he lives there.
turn, he was like, no, doesn't live here.
Because you know what?
No, Thursday night? Was it a Thursday? What time? 8:30?
Yeah.
He has no friends. What are you, crazy?
Yeah.
This guy had to be at the airport the next day. I know. Where was he going?
Yes!
Jacksonville? He was going to
He's either a
Jacksonville.
serial killer or has no friends, and you got off lucky because you would have been his 17th victim in a house somewhere, trapped in a closet.
That was a theory that he was a serial killer, and then he met my dog, and he was like, I can't leave this dog without a mom.
No.
You
I've watched
know?
enough documentaries. They have no feeling.
Yeah, true.
When they want to kill you, they're killing you.
I know.
I just watched the Gacy documentaries. He's killing everything.
Yeah, he
inside.
wasn't. He wasn't sparing anybody because of the 2 cats. Like it was. It
He's
was.
wearing your dog as a coat.
What do you got? A poodle? I can't kill this one. Who's gonna be the mom?
Ashley, thank you so much.
Thanks
Oh my
so
gosh,
much.
this was so fun, you
Oh,
guys.
good, yeah.
Thanks so
and,
much. I
we'd
loved
love to
it.
do the cock ring thing. The thing that,
Yeah,
no,
send us some-
if you want any of our opinions on the thing, we're not.
Do you think it would get caught on your flaps?
No.
Now you gotta use the lube.
I'd
You
shove
gotta use
it a
You've
bit
never
more
seen it on
down.
circumcised penis, have you? What do you think it is?
I'm kidding. I know what it looks like. It kind of looks like a little vagina at the top when it's closed up.
Send me one. Send me a cock ring, and then I'll throw one
It's
on
like a
for the
tulip.
boys.
Yeah.
It's a little tulip. Little is the key word. You're a good kid.
Oh my God, he's a grower.
Thank you so much. You're on tour. You know, you need us to plug anything. Yeah, at Girls Gotta Eat podcast.
Listen to Girls Gotta
super
Eat.
fun. If you only see one of her shows, see the one in Philly. There's one ticket left.
There are. That's the only show that isn't completely sold out is the Late Show in Philly. So come to that. You'll
when
see
is that?
both of
June
us
something?
there. June 22nd.
June 22nd, Philly. Punchline, Philly. See me, see Ashley, see your brother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, do we know that? Was that a surprise?
It's fine. They know he'll be there.
Oh, okay.
The whole fam will be there. And yeah, follow me on Instagram at Ash Hess and Twitter and TikTok. That's my handle and everything.
At Ash Hess, Girls Gotta Eat podcast. Ashley, thank you so
Thanks
much.
so much for doing this. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, let's get these cock rings going.